Andrea Wulf, The Invention of Nature, Alexander von Humboldt's New World. Embark on a journey through the life and discoveries of Alexander von Humboldt, a pioneering explorer whose passion for science and nature has left an indelible impact on our understanding of the world. The book, The Invention of Nature, Alexander von Humboldt's New World, by Andrea Wulf delves into Humboldt's remarkable adventures, insights, and discoveries which ultimately led him to perceive nature as an interconnected whole. From his early life filled with curiosity, to powerful friendships with prominent figures such as Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, to his awe-inspiring South American expedition, Humboldt's story will leave you with a fresh appreciation of the natural world and the importance of preserving it.
Alexander von Humboldt, the adventurous explorer. Meet Alexander von Humboldt, born into an aristocratic Prussian family in 1769. While his mother wanted both of her boys to be civil servants, Alexander was fascinated by exploration in the natural world. Despite excelling in science, math, and language, Alexander preferred nature to studying and earned the nickname, the Little Apothecary. At the age of 22, he landed steady work as a mining inspector and published his first book on subterranean flora while studying the underground plant life of the mines. He also became interested in galvanism and used his own body to conduct experiments. Despite his fascination with science and nature, Alexander longed to escape Europe and explore uncharted lands. Before he could do so, he met the man who would change the way he saw the world around him. Nature, science, and poetry. Alexander von Humboldt and Johann Wolfgang von Goethe shared a unique perspective on science and nature. They transcended the traditional methods of studying rocks, plants, and animals in an office or laboratory. For them, subjectivity was key in understanding nature. They believed that poetry and science were part of the same process. With this perspective, Humboldt saw the best way to help others understand his observations in nature was through romantic writing. By connecting with people's feelings, he could communicate more effectively than through any purely scientific text, a realization he put to use on his long-awaited adventure. Humboldt's eye-opening expedition. In the late 18th century, Alexander von Humboldt embarked on an expedition to South America that would change his perspective on nature and the world. Despite facing delays and obstacles due to the Napoleonic Wars, Humboldt finally landed in Venezuela and was amazed by the kaleidoscopic wonders before him. He saw plants, animals, and landscapes that he had never seen before, but instead of viewing them in isolation, he observed them in a global, interconnected context. Humboldt's experiences during the expedition led him to realize that everything in the world was connected, and his understanding was solidified by an earthquake that greeted him upon his arrival, which changed his perception of the planet's creative and destructive forces. Humboldt's journey of understanding. Follow the journey of Alexander von Humboldt as he learns about the importance of nature conservation during his travels in South America. From the brutal practices of slavery to the destruction of ecosystems by colonists, Humboldt witnesses firsthand the devastating impact that human actions can have on the environment. Along the way, he discovers the vital role that trees play in maintaining the Earth's delicate balance, and develops a deeper understanding of the complex interconnectedness of nature. Humboldt's journey to Chimborazo. Explore the adventures of Alexander von Humboldt and his significance in connecting the world through nature. Alexander von Humboldt and his partner Bonpland faced many challenges during their journey through South America in 1802. Despite the ruthless mosquitoes, fever, dysentery, blizzards, and near-death experiences, Humboldt never lost sight of his goal, reaching the Andes and exploring the fascinating volcanoes that lined the horizon. Unlike many at the time, Humboldt viewed volcanoes as an extension of the same force within the Earth's core rather than an isolated phenomenon. He climbed and inspected multiple volcanoes but none compared to the inactive Chimborazo located in modern-day Ecuador. Although Chimborazo is not the tallest summit in the world, it held an extraordinary significance for Humboldt due to its proximity to the equator, which made its peak the furthest point from Earth's center. Humboldt's ascent to the top was arduous as he suffered from altitude sickness, jagged rocks, and the need to crawl on all fours along narrow ridges. However, his perseverance paid off when he realized that Chimborazo was the perfect embodiment of his vision of a connected world. At every few hundred feet, he stopped to measure and collect samples of everything around him, realizing he was observing all of nature laid out before him from the top. By comparing his previous observations on the Alps to Chimborazo, Humboldt saw the threads of nature that connected everything and gained insight on Earth's equator. His journey to Chimborazo provided meaning to his life's work in connecting the world through nature. Humboldt's big ideas. In 1803, Alexander von Humboldt returned from his expedition to South America with thousands of sketches, observations, and plant specimens. Along the way, he stopped to visit Thomas Jefferson, with whom he shared ideas on agriculture and sustainability. When Humboldt returned to Europe, he turned his research into a series of books, including Essay on the Geography of Plants, which was the first ecological book in the world. The book showcased Humboldt's Naturalist, an illustration of Chimborazo that demonstrated the relationship between plant life, climate zones, and altitudes around the world. Humboldt's work described ancient connections between continents, and he supported the free exchange of information to expand scientific knowledge. Humboldt's ideas remain influential today. Humboldt's nature writing influence. Humboldt's views on nature were so groundbreaking that they inspired Simón Bolívar in his quest for South American independence. Bolívar used the same poetic language to describe nature in his revolutionary writings, reminding his people of what they were fighting for. During this time, Humboldt also expressed his political views in his writing, pointing out the devastating effects of colonization and slavery. Humboldt's journey continues. After his success in publishing, Humboldt returned to Berlin, delivered popular lectures, and organized a conference of interdisciplinary minds. However, his disapproval of colonialism hindered his plans to launch another expedition to the Himalayas as the East India Trading Company continually refused his attempts and didn't care much for his contempt for colonialism. Humboldt eventually reached out to the Russian Empire to gain access to India. Humboldt's Russian adventure. Follow Alexander von Humboldt's adventurous journey through Russia, which provided the necessary details for his grand vision of the world. With a letter from the Russian finance minister that offered funding, Humboldt explored the barren landscapes, commercial mines, and the Altai Mountains, with his every step being observed by associates of Tsar Nicholas I. Though the trip proved tiresome, Humboldt's observations established connective views of the world. The unified view of cosmos. Alexander von Humboldt's cosmos aimed to unify science and show that everything is connected. Alexander von Humboldt had a vision of a world that was interconnected, and he aimed to capture this worldview in a single work. He called this work Cosmos, which spanned 5 volumes and covered a wide range of topics from celestial phenomena to human life. The message of Cosmos was to unite science, art, and all aspects of the universe. During the 1830s, professional scientists were delving deeper into specialized fields, narrowing their perspectives and drawing lines between disciplines. However, Humboldt believed that a true understanding of the world could only be achieved by considering everything as part of a unified whole. The first volume of Cosmos was published in 1845 after a decade of research and design, quickly becoming a bestseller. It covered a wide range of topics including celestial phenomena, geomagnetism, weather patterns, and plant and animal life. The second volume followed in 1847, describing human life from ancient to modern times and highlighting human progress in politics, science, and art. Humboldt worked tirelessly on the next 3 volumes, each one filling in more detail for his worldview, until he sent the final volume to the publisher just 2 days before his death at the age of 89. Humboldt's death was grieved by people all over the world, with many newspapers writing loving obituaries and referring to him as one of the most remarkable men who ever lived. Humboldt's Cosmos aimed to bring together all aspects of science and show how everything is connected. As a result, Cosmos is an enduring legacy that continues to inspire and amaze readers today. Humboldt's enduring legacy. Alexander von Humboldt's unique perspective has continued to inspire explorers and environmentalists in their aim to unite art and science. The likes of Charles Darwin, Henry David Thoreau, and Ernst Haeckel found their own greatness by drawing from his work. Darwin's voyage on HMS Beagle, as well as his landmark book on evolution, can be traced back to Humboldt's influence. Similarly, Thoreau's Walden, which is considered a masterpiece of transcendentalism, was written after Thoreau began looking at nature through Humboldt's eyes. And Haeckel, a German zoology professor, was able to combine art and science, thanks to Humboldt's vision. These three individuals helped ensure that Humboldt's message and unifying perspective on life, nature, and poetry carried on to future generations.
In conclusion, The Invention of Nature brings to life the inspiring story of Alexander von Humboldt, an explorer, naturalist, and thinker who reshaped our understanding of the connection between nature and humanity. Through his scientific discoveries, Humboldt laid the foundation for modern ecology, transcending disciplines and promoting the integration of nature, art, and poetry. His influence can be seen not only in the works of Charles Darwin, Henry David Thoreau, and Ernst Haeckel, but in our continued efforts to conserve and explore the interconnected natural world. As we strive to preserve our planet's intricate web of life, Humboldt's visionary spirit remains an essential reminder of the importance and beauty of the world around us.